the biggest challenge in the current timeline on planet Earth, while it is ascending very fast into the higher frequencies, the most negative emotion or the most negative force that holds all the human beings into the lower vibration is fear. Most of us are holding some or the other fear that keeps us in the state of darkness. Most of the human beings have forgotten how to live with their own light, how to live with love, following their heart, because so much is being governed by different types of controlling system, different types of negative energies. And the more we give into these negativities, we are feeding the fear within ourselves. So it becomes extremely important to look into our fears. Why I'm talking about this big picture? Because this big picture is absolutely related to our twin flame journey. As we have been activated by our twin flame, most of our core fears will be shown, will be mirrored to us by our twin flame. 3 years back, I had made a very small video when it comes to understanding fears related to twin flame journey. And you can definitely watch that because that also provides you a certain specific perspective. But I also decided to make this video because if you see, there can be hundreds of fears that we are governed by. And it is absolutely essential to identify those fears and work on those fears and mindfully get out of those fears. I may not be able to list the hundreds of fears over here, but I have made the effort to at least list 25 fears that I felt are very significant, and most of the people face those fears in the twin flame journey. It is absolutely essential for you to be aware of those fears and to work on those fears. So welcome back to my channel, Awaken with Pradnya. And all those who have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. All those who want to read my posts and my answers on Quora, all those who want to take one-to-one sessions with me, the link to my blog has been given in the video description. Anybody who wants to join the wait list for India retreat, that link is also given in the description. Now, I have divided the list of 25 fears into two categories. The first list is more related to your core journey that you are experiencing on daily life. And these fears are faced by both the twin flames, whether the person is running or the person is chasing, whether the person is awakened or the person is not awakened. Once they are encountering their twin flame and the activation happens and the journey begins, and the runner chaser dynamic starts or some triggers start coming to you, this is the list of fears that will come up for both the runner, the twin flame who is running from the connection, or the twin flame who is chasing in the connection. Though if you are facing these fears, then you even can't be calling yourself a chaser, because if you are holding this list of fears in your heart, any of the fear in this list in your heart, that means you are also somewhere running from this connection. So I would say that typically these are the fears that are held in your heart when you are in the state of running from the connection. The action of pursuing that connection is also holding you back because you are in the state of running. Second list that I have prepared is specifically related to the awakened twin flame, not the person who is in the matrix state, not the matrix twin flame. I hope that both these lists help you to figure out where exactly you are stuck in your journey so that you can work on it. So the first and foremost fear is the fear of confrontation. I think I don't have to talk a lot about it. Most of the twin flames who are having this whole feeling, unconditional love in their heart, are kind of running away from the confrontation part. They love their twin flame unconditionally, but they don't have the courage to tell their twin flame that they love them, right? Most of the people are struggling. So this is like a big disclaimer for all those who are considering themselves as a chaser. If you have not confronted your love to your twin flame yet, that means you are holding something back and you're running from actually confessing your truth. So even when you consider yourself as a chaser, you are in some way in the state of running. And this can be a biggest eye opener for many people. Now, when it comes to the fear of confrontation, there are many other small fears that are attached to this big fear. So, what are those small fears that are attached to the fear of confrontation? The fear of rejection. Most of the people who are not able to confront their love to their twin flame is because somewhere they fear that they will be rejected by their twin flame. And where is this fear of rejection coming from? It is something to do with your self-worth, that you are not feeling that you are up to the mark, or you are something related to your self-worth issue. So there is a deep societal conditioning that you hold. So you feel that you will be rejected because there is a lot of age gap, or there could be financial status which is having a huge gap, or there is a social status which is completely different, or the education that doesn't match the marital status, that either you or them or both of you are married or dating, or some complex relationship scenario. So all these issues that you have in your mind are either coming from your self-worth, or they are coming from your societal conditioning, the way you perceive the template of love and relationships. It also can come from uh, something that you did in your past, which you are holding somewhere inside you as a guilt. If you really want to go deeper into the fear of rejection, there is also another very important fear which many people hold, and that is fear of not being loved by your twin flame. And I think this particular fear has a lot of core past life programs or some childhood trauma that you are having in your heart, that you don't believe that somebody can really love you wholeheartedly. You feel that you are not worth receiving anybody's pure love. And that is why you feel that you will get rejected when you express your love for somebody. Your twin flame who is running from you, and when you are holding this fear of rejection in your heart, probably they also might be feeling the same fear in their heart. They feel that you love them wholeheartedly. They are sensing that, but they still keep running away from you because they are not able to believe that somebody can truly love them so unconditionally. It is too difficult for them to even trust that, and somewhere that really makes them very scared, and they kind of try running from you. They are also holding this fear of being loved so unconditionally by somebody. It is not so easy for a wounded human being to accept love so easily. They are so wounded, they are so traumatized through all through their past lives, or whatever patterns they are holding in them. Even to see and accept and digest this particular fact that somebody loves them so unconditionally becomes too undigested, and that's why they run. Another fear that is attached to fear of confrontation is fear of abandonment. Somewhere you deeply feel that your twin flame will abandon you. They will not look at you. They will ghost you or whatever. They will leave you basically. From your lack of self worth, obviously your childhood trauma, maybe your past life trauma, that maybe in your childhood, your father or your somebody that was a father figure who showed you some abusive traits, or they were emotionally unavailable to you. Maybe your parents were emotionally unavailable to you, or you went through some sort of abuse. So this whole pattern of being abandoned uh, from the people you love the most, many people carry this wound, and because of that you are carrying this very deep core fear of being abandoned. Another fear related to being abandoned is fear of being blocked by your twin flame. Many people don't confront their love to their twin flame because they have this big huge fear in their heart that if I say something to my twin flame will block me. So the fear of being blocked, in turn, fear of being abandoned. Another fear that holds you back from doing confrontation with your twin flame is fear of being judged by your twin flame, or fear of not being understood by your twin flame. This is a very common fear because almost all the human beings hold this fear of being judged. All of us are afraid that people will judge us, people will not understand us. fear of doing something wrong. There is also this societal pressure that the society will not accept it. I should not. There is this whole compass of being right or wrong, right? So we are navigating our life through that societal compass. We have already had so many bad experiences about people judging us and not understanding us, that we are having that core conditioning and core pattern, and we live our life according to that pattern. That also indicates that many of us have a very low self-esteem. We are always trying to prove ourselves. We are always trying to make ourselves understood. And somewhere we believe that nobody can understand us. Nobody can really get what we are going through. And that same thing is also being projected in our twin flame connection. And naturally, we feel that my twin flame will also judge me if I say something. They will not understand it. If I tell them that I love them, they will not understand. The next fear is fear of getting hurt. And this is also most common, not only with twin flames, but all the human beings, that most of the people refrain from taking a step in their life because they are not wanting to get hurt. They feel they are like really trying to put some facade around them because they want to protect themselves from being hurt. When it comes to our twin flame, it's even more intense. We are not even able to imagine that if we get hurt by our twin flame, how we would cope up our life. So, and I think all the twin flames have already experienced a lot of drama in their twin flame journey. There is so much of pull and push, and there is so much of disappointment and unexpected circumstances and hurt, that when it comes to confrontation, that's like a big pressure on your heart, that I don't want to do something which can probably hurt me even more. I'm not ready to take that pain. Somewhere you are too afraid to face that pain. Then another very important fear related to this is fear of not being able to fulfill your expectations from your twin flame. This is a little bit tricky, and there are so many expectations that we have. I can list out more than 100 expectations, or even more than that. I would probably make another detailed video only with the list of expectations. But the major reason why most of the people are not being able to confront their love to their twin flame, because they feel that their twin flame might not reciprocate their feelings, right? So there is a certain expectation that you're having, that your twin flame should behave in a specific way, or they should react or reciprocate in a specific way. And somewhere in your heart, you are afraid that that might not get fulfilled. And that's why you are kind of staying away from confronting anything to them. Fear of releasing the control. Okay, now this is not specifically related to the confrontation, but most of us have this fear inside our heart that if I don't track my twin flame, if I don't keep watching what they're doing or not doing, either on social media or physically, I would not know what is happening in their life, and I would lose the track. And then eventually, I will lose my twin flame. So you can literally list all these fears that I talked about under this umbrella of fear of losing your twin flame. Most twin flames in their journey do hold this fear of losing their twin flame. Now, what is the most important part over here is that you need to introspect on this list and see what all fears are actually holding you back. Because unless you overcome these fears and the smaller details, where exactly you are getting stuck and where exactly your energy is being drained, in what type of fear, unless you work on those fears, you are not going to overcome this whole fear of losing your twin flame. And the day you overcome the fear of losing your twin flame, I think you would definitely start coming into alignment emotionally or energetically with your twin flame. Most of us hold the fear of the society and the societal rules, the constitution of marriage, what is acceptable in the society, what is not acceptable in the society in terms of age, the do's and don'ts when it comes to love and relationships. We are all somewhere unknowingly or knowingly governed by those rules. And we are afraid in our heart that if we break those rules, then there will be some consequences, very bad consequences that they will have to face. Fear of Societal rules also comes from the fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of being judged. This time not by your twin flame, but by your family, by your parents, by your friends, and from the overall society. That you will be abandoned by your friends and family. You will be judged by your friends and family, or you will be rejected by your friends and family. And that's what somewhere holds you back from standing in your own truth. Also, the related fear to the societal rules is fear of being questioned. I will be questioned by my parents, or I will be questioned by the society for my actions. And what will I do if they question me? So, another fear related to this fear of being questioned is fear of not being able to stand by yourself. Because you are having self worth issues, you are not really trusting yourself, or you are not really trusting what is happening with you. There is no sense of clarity, there is so much of confusion, and there is so much of negative projection on you because of your belief systems and conditioning, that you are completely confused and you are not having that confidence that you will be able to stand by yourself, and you really fear that. And the last one in this category is the fear of not being able to forget your twin flame. Many twin flames who are not yet able to accept the connection, or they are kind of getting really affected by the no contact or the running of their twin flame, they also develop this fear of not being able to forget their twin flame. What if I don't forget this person ever? I would land up in this pain forever, and that is not right. I have literally ruined everything for myself. So this also is one of the major fears that some, not all, but some twin flames hold. So if you look at these fears can be held by anybody who has met their twin flame and not even awakened. All these fears are held by an unawakened person also, including your runner twin flame who is in the matrix, who also would be facing these fears without knowing what this connection is. And only difference between you and them is that somewhere you are coming to the acceptance that you have some connection with this person, and your matrix twin flame is probably in the denial. But they are also facing these fears, some in some of the other intensity. Now coming to the second category of the list of fears, where the person is awakened. They have kind of understood that I am on some spiritual journey, and they are transitioning from not being aware to being aware, the awakening phase. So what sort of fear the person will hold when they are in this specific transitional stage? First is the fear of acceptance. Many people I have seen are in the fear of accepting that they are on a spiritual journey, because I think for many people it is also a shock that this is not a romantic connection, it's not a soulmate connection, and there is so much being written about twin flames. So many of us say that it's not a conventional romantic relationship. So there is some sort of a shock that comes to many people's heart that, oh, it's not like a conventional thing. Maybe I won't be able to marry this person. Is it not like really a romantic thing? Am I really on a spiritual journey? Because nobody is coming on this path because they wanted to be on a spiritual journey, right? They fall in love with somebody intensely. They go through a specific experience, and then they start understanding that they are getting onto some spiritual journey. So the whole acceptance that I am on some very different type of a journey, and I'm in love with this person, and this love I feel for the person is also a very important and critical factor of what I'm going through. Coming to acceptance to this fact also takes a lot of time for most of us. Many people really feel the pressure of it, like too much work to do. I don't want to do any inner work or anything. I don't want to be awakened. I don't want to do anything. And they are so much in pain because they are not even able to forget their twin flame. So whole transitional phase that they are going through, they would face this fear of acceptance. There is another fear related to that, and that is fear of being delusional. So many people would ask this question to themselves that, am I delusional? Am I really feeding myself with some wrong information? Am I really imagining all these things, or is it really real? So fear of being delusional is also one of the core fears in this specific phase. when you are in the transition from being an unawakened being to the awakened being. Another fear related to this whole delusional state is fear of going crazy, because there is so much of stuff happening inside you and you are literally being obsessed with your twin flame, and there are crazy things happening around you. You're seeing synchronicities and numbers, and you can't really differentiate anymore between what is real and what is unreal. You're really afraid of your brain exploding or you going completely crazy, and maybe you might even need to be admitted in the mental hospital. With this particular fear, there is another related fear to it, is fear of not being able to cope up with your spiritual journey and the challenges the journey throws at you. So many people are so afraid to even deal with this journey because they feel that they will fail, fear of failure. What they don't understand is that if they are a soul and they are on this journey, and if they were allowed to experience this journey, that means they are fully capable to handle these challenges. Fear that is related to this is fear of losing everything to your dark night. As you are going through a dark night of the soul, there are so many changes that are happening in your life. So, one very significant fear related to fear of losing it to your dark night is losing everything, your career, your finances, your friends, your family, your connection with the society, anything that you have built so far in your life. You will have this fear of losing it. You might have the fear of losing the respect in the social circle, because as you are detaching from the metrics, you are kind of more and more drifting away from the society or the community aspect or anything that is related to the metrics life, the third dimensional awareness. So somewhere you also, like, your ego is really pulling you into the matrix. So you have this fear of losing respect in the society. You also develop a fear of losing out on time, that, oh my God, there is this burden of spiritual journey on your heart, that if I have so much work to do, I'm actually losing out on time. When will I get into union? When will my twin flame actually understand? It doesn't seem possible in the near future, and I'm already 40, I'm already 50. So you have developed this whole fear of losing out on time. Another major fear that is related to the awakened journey is fear of facing your inner truth. Many people are afraid of going deeper and facing what is shown to them. Many times there are so many dark things that come, that you have done something in the past, or feelings of guilt, shame, victimhood, abuse. So either you are afraid to revisit your wounds or your suppressed feelings, or you are afraid to face your demons. You are afraid to see your inner truth. This is, I would say, one of the biggest fears. And of course, when it comes to the fear of facing your inner truth, it also is related to your self-worth, your integrity, your trust in the divine, fear of being hurt, fear of not being able to cope up with the journey. All these fears are also related to fear of facing your inner truth. Many people also have the fear of making a mistake on this journey. And they feel that if I make a mistake, some mistake, I would delay my spiritual journey or the union with my twin flame. So they are so afraid to take actions. And this is also, I would say, one of the major fears that would hold you back from progressing in your journey, because there are no mistakes in a spiritual journey. Whatever you do, you are going to learn your soul lesson. But somehow, as human beings, we are conditioned like this, that if you do a mistake, then there is a punishment and there are bad consequences of your mistake always. This is what we believe. And somehow we need to release that core program, because if you are on a spiritual journey, even when you are doing a mistake, you are still realizing something, you are learning something, and you are still learning your soul lesson through your mistake. So the way we are visualizing this particular thing, that if we make a mistake, then we get less marks or we get punished, and we are kind of drifting away from our destination. No, whatever you are doing, you are still paving your way forward to your destination. But most of the people hold this fear of making a mistake. Then another fear for people who have almost got onto a spiritual journey, but they are still holding this fear, is being identified in the public along with their truths in their spiritual journey. What if people find out that I am a twin flame? What if my neighbors find out? What if my family finds out? So you're afraid of exposing your experience and your truth to the outside society, because again, that this fear also is related to fear of judgment, the society and societal rule, some level of non-acceptance in the journey, your some type of lack of ownership of what you are experiencing, and you are still getting affected by society thinks about you, right? And you're afraid of facing the consequences, the so-called consequences that the society will project on you. The second last in this list is the fear of death. Almost every human being holds fear of death in their heart. So many of us hold this fear of death. What if I die before my union happens? Or what if my twin flame dies when the union happens? What if my twin flame dies even before anything progresses between us? And last but not the least, a fear of dark entities sabotaging your journey or your union. And why I kept this particular fear the last, because many people in our community are still holding so much of toxicity, arguing with each other, trolling each other. So many people are operating from the fear consciousness, who are getting attracted to psych readings, tarot readings, only because they are feeling so vulnerable inside their heart. They are so insecure. And all they are holding is a vibration of fear and insecurity and uncertainty. Yes, there could be negative entities around, but and what is the most important responsibility as twin flames or as light workers is not paying heed to any negative thought, because even two people arguing with each other negatively can give the entry point to any dark energy to come and start whatever manipulation they want to start. I am not wanting to induce any sort of a fear consciousness when I say this. So don't start getting afraid about negative energies or entity attacks. I just want to say that it is our responsibility and it has to come to us very naturally as light workers, that we don't pay any heed to the negativity and we hold our light. If you are holding your light in your heart and spreading only the positivity, there is nothing that can invade you. There is nothing that can sabotage you. So this whole fear consciousness, the first thought that something can invade you, this thought itself is the entry point for anybody to enter into your energy. So you need to understand how energy works. You need to understand your core responsibility as a light worker or a twin flame, that you are here to hold the light. You are not here to feed the dark. So the more you are vibrating from the place of fear, and the more you are still holding all the fears that I listed in this video, you are keeping yourself in the state of vulnerability. So it's up to you how you set your intention, and you intend to choose the light every moment with awareness and pave your way forward in your journey. Now, the question comes that, okay, so all these fears are there. How are we going to address these fears? First is acceptance. You have to come to a certain level of acceptance when it comes to your challenges. Accept all your challenges with positivity. Accept your twin flame the way they are. Accept your journey the way it is, and accept the inner work that you are shown in your journey, and do it. So that acceptance definitely needs to be there. Set the intention to overcome these fears. Third most important thing is self-trust and the trust in the divine. Trust yourself that you can cope up with all these things, and this is something that you came here for as a volunteer. And trust in the divine guidance, trust in the divine plan, trust in the divine protection, trust in the divine support that it is providing you 24/7 when you are here coping up with all these things. So that trust in yourself and the divine is absolutely essential. And be start being aware and mindful about what sort of old conditioning patterns or programs or trauma that you have been carrying so far inside you. Introspect, list those things out, and set the intention to release those patterns. Become aware of those patterns. That would be the first step towards eradicating all these fears from your consciousness. And it is absolutely essential to do this at this point of time in the collective. So I hope this video helps all of you. See you in the next video. Namaste.